It's a rather sobering statement at the end of today's gospel. When the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on earth? We'll have the answer to that maybe here in a couple minutes. But first, as we look at today's readings, and actually the readings the last several weeks, we can see that as we're coming to the end of the liturgical year, our church is trying to strengthen each and every one of us with some very sound teachings. Teachings which are essential to our faith. Certainly this week in our gospel reading, we hear about the need to pray, and to pray continuously. Actually, a couple of weeks ago, we heard about prayer, and next Sunday we're going to hear about prayer again. Again, essential to our faith. Also this week, though, there's a theme that exists in all three of the readings. And that is that we need to remain persistent. In our gospel reading, for example, we hear about the unjust judge. This judge, we're told, does not fear man, and does not fear God, and does not have respect for man. But we also see that even though he's a dishonest judge, he responds to this widow's request because of her persistence. You know, Luke also states in here, he's asked another question. He says, if the unjust judge is going to render a just decision because of persistence, how much more will God, who is just, render to us a decision because of our persistence? We need to caution ourselves, though, today as we look through the gospel reading, because it's pretty easy, at least in the gospel reading, to look at it and think that prayer is simply asking for something, because the example we have is that asking. And the issue here is that prayer is not a one-way street. It's not simply sitting back, asking God for something when we're in need, and then expecting it to be answered on our own terms and in our own time. Prayer is more like a friendship. In fact, we need that prayer to build that relationship with Christ so that we can have that friendship. Let me see if I can use an example. I had a man come to me several years ago who was in need of some counseling. And this man told me, and I found it to be true, he did not have any friends. He had a tough time keeping friends. Just didn't know what was wrong. I met with him for quite some time. But it was only after about the second meeting that I was able to tell him, I think I know what's going on here. He wanted a relationship that was one way. He wanted to do all the talking. He wanted you to do all the listening. And he did it. He would call when he needed something. It was just a one-way relationship. And I explained to him that we need give and take in order to have a relationship, in order to have a friendship. We need to be there for the other one when they need to do something or they need to be listened to. And likewise, they need to be there for us when we're in need. We need to be listened to. Again, I'm relating that to our prayer because our prayer should not just be one directional. We need in our prayer to be persistent. Be persistent in listening. In other words, when we're in prayer with God, take the time to be quiet. Just simply be with Him and listen. See what He might be laying on your heart through Scripture. We need to take the time to be persistent in discerning what it is that God wants us to do in our lives. What is God's will for us? We need to be persistent in that prayer. We need to be persistent in our prayer of thanks, continually thanking God for all the blessings that He has given each and every one of us. We need to be persistent like today in coming together in prayer as a community. We need to be persistent in our prayers in praying for others, for their needs. Our relationship with God through prayer involves all of these things. It needs to be a two-way relationship. And when we have that kind of relationship with God in our prayer, we're persistent in that prayer, that relationship's going to build to the point where we have that persistent faith. In our second reading today, we hear from Paul that our faith needs to be persistent. It needs to be persistent when it's convenient, and persistent when it's not so convenient. In fact, Paul goes on to say that we need to have faith in Christ without becoming weary. Again, similarly, in our first reading on that theme of persistence, we see that Moses meets Amalek to go into battle. Amalek was a warrior. Amalek was a warrior who did not fear God, and he loved to prey on the weak and the weary. Kind of sounds like someone else in our life. Mr. Red Pants, he likes to prey on us, especially when we're weak and weary. But notice in that first reading with Moses, think of Moses. I mean, here's a man of faith. You would have thought that all by himself he would have been able to be persistent. And he goes out there with that staff, and as long as he had it up, the battle went well. But what happens? He becomes weary. And there's an important point for us in that first reading, because Moses relied on others in his community for support. Aaron and Hur, to help him to persist in that battle. And that's the same with us. When we are having times of trials and tribulations, we need to rely on others in our community. So, we're back to Luke's question that we started with. When the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on earth? I think the answer to that is yes. Yes, he will. If we persist in our prayer, if we persist in our relationship with him, if we persist in that faith, when the end of time comes, through our persistence, God will render a just decision